Okay, we're ready. I did a sewing machine video a couple weeks ago, and I got a question about why a machine does a certain thing. It was bunching thread on the bottom stitch, like that right there. Top stitch looked fine, bottom thread. Well, what that is your tension is too loose. We're going to demonstrate that in just a minute. Okay. As you can see, I've got red thread on the top, green thread on the bottom. We have the tension set. Oh, let's start about there. And we'll go down through. Raise the needle up. Come on. Yeah, there it goes. Clip that off. You can see there's pretty good bottom stitch. Nice top stitch. This is fairly silky material. I chose that for demonstration. Alright, now put the needle down. Loosen that way up. It might break the thread again, but I don't know. No, it's going to go. You can actually tell the machine's not liking this. Alright. Take it out of there. Now, whenever you suspect something like this has occurred, I'm going to tighten that back up before I forget it. When you lift it up, work your hand wheel, and make sure that the thread comes up out of the bottom from around the hook. This is a rotary machine. They're kind of prone. Okay, that's with it too loose. That's all it is. It's just your top tension was too loose. Very common problem. One I get asked on very frequently. What's wrong with this? You think it's something major. It's not. Just turning that, tightening it up. You turn them in to tighten them, turn them out to loosen them. Now, let's show you. No, this one has not been cooperating. Whoops. That's a good way to unthread your machine. But I just did. Did I just unthread it? No. Let's sew a little bit, make sure it's. Yeah, it's sewed fine now. Okay, now I'm going to tighten it all the way up. It should break the thread, but this machine doesn't always do that. But you can see it's bunching the fabric. That's your first indication that your tension's too tight. I don't know if the camera's picking that out. I'll use this pair of scissors to demonstrate. See how you have so much green thread up top? This is your top stitch. Now I got it turned over. See that when it's stitching right, you don't, that the bottom thread is literally getting pulled through and your top thread is not even stitching, it's just perfectly straight. That's when you're getting too tight. I can't tell you, set your machine on this number or that number because every machine is a little different. Your material thickness will change your tension. This was real fine stuff here. You can see how it really puckered it up. I've heard them calling it puckers, and you just don't want that. If you're making something, you don't want it. You want it to be like this over here. The stitch length on this is set fairly about halfway. That's comfortable to work with. Tension is one of the biggest issues that I hear complaints on, and it's really a simple fix. It's right here. If you have to take one apart, blow it out with a can of air, toothbrush, you can turn those little. I'm going to carefully bring that camera over here. You can wipe in between if you're uncomfortable tearing them apart. If you have to, you just push this in and that'll screw right off. You gotta have both hands and everything will just slide off. There's a spring back here. This is part of it. You need to pay attention to that a little bit. That's about all. Get that back in where it was. It's not hard. Well, I hope that helped. And every machine's different in its behavior here. This particular one will sew a fairly nice stitch on this heavy fabric or that light fabric, right down to probably 11th thread doing that, right down to number 1. See, that's not a bad stitch at all. It's a little bit loose, but it's not bad at all. And it will also, which with different material will change. When you get above 6 with it, you can start to see it's getting tight. See the difference in the two stitches right there? Well, thanks for watching. I hope that helped. Let me know.